Alright guys, we are back for segment number 7 of my 27th birthday special. We just played some Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64 and that was a whole lot of fun. So, for our next segment we are going to be playing Mario Golf for the Nintendo 64. So let's see how we're going to do on this game. Alright, let's go to one player, and of course play as Mario. Alright, we're going to do a tournament game, and let's do the Koopa Cup for this one. Alright, let's get started at hole number 1. Alright, we're on the fairway here, so that was a good first shot. Alright, got it on the green.
Nice on.
Alright, we're going for birdie. Got it!
Birdie.
Alright, we start off with 9th place right now after the first hole. Let's jump right into hole 2. Alright, I'll use a power shot right here. Oh, it's almost perfect. That's alright. What? How am I in the deep rough right here? That is stupid. Alright, not really gonna have much of a choice but to aim this way here with the 7 iron. Alright, we're at least on the fairway now. Oh, we were pretty close to the green right there, but that went to the rough. Alright, thankfully we are close to the hole right now after that shot. Alright, we're going for par here. Got it. Alright, so that was not too bad of a hole right there. And move up to a tie for 8th. Let's head into hole number 3. There's a big 19 mile per hour wind on this one that we gotta try to be careful with. Alright, I'll take that. I'm going to try the 3 iron right here. Let's actually move it a little bit to the left from here. A little bit short of the green as we're still going to be in the fairway. Alright. Anyways, let's see what I can do here with this chip shot. Alright, that was not too bad, but could have been a little better. Alright, let's see if we can make another par. Nope, not quite. We're a little bit off right there to the left. So we're gonna unfortunately get a bogey on this one. That's gonna send my score back to even, and I drop down to a tie for 10th. Alright, let's head into hole 4. Alright, we'll aim right here with the 4-iron. Almost the perfect shot. What? How did that get in the bunker? You gotta be kidding me. Alright, we're on green. Let's see if we can make this putt for par. Oh, come on! How was I a little bit off right there to the left? That is ridiculous. So that's going to be another bogey right here on this hole. Not really doing too well right here at the start of this game. We gotta try to turn things around. Alright, hole 5.
Nice shot.
Alright, we do get a nice shot there. Alright, so we're on the fairway. I'm going to aim right over here on this next shot. Oh, went right past the green right there. Is this going in the rough? Oh, pretty impressive chip shot there. I'll take it. And we're going to get a par this time. I'm back up to a tie for 10th. Now let's go into hole 6.
Nice shot.
There's a nice shot right there. Alright, let's see if we can possibly get a good shot onto the green from here. It was not that bad. We landed in the semi-rough, but we're not that far off in the green, so let's see if we can get a good chip shot from here. Alright, that will work.
Nice on.
Alright, so this putt is for birdie. Got it! That's what I'm talking about. I'm up to a tie for 8th right here. Let's move on to hole 7, and now we're in the rain. So it may affect the distance of my ball here on my shot. Okay, I'm gonna try a power shot from here and see what happens. Alright! That was a perfect power shot, so we do get to keep it. Okay. Yeah, I'll try the 9-iron. Oh, that was a really impressive shot.
Nice on.
Alright, can we get another birdie here? Yes, he will.
Birdie.
And that will put me up to a tie for 7th. Alright, heading into hole 8. We got rain again here on this hole. Let's see what's gonna happen out here. Alright, I'm gonna try the 7-iron. Hoping for a good shot out of this. Alright, that wasn't too bad.
Nice
Got it pretty close right there to the hole. Alright, now let's see if we can make another birdie. That we can.
Birdie.
Alright, now I'm up to a tie for 5th. Now on the hole number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. Okay, I'm gonna try aiming over here.
Nice shot.
Got a nice shot there. And we are barely on the fairway, so I'm glad that worked out very nicely for me. Alright, now let's try aiming over here with the pitching wedge. And that is a good shot right there.
Nice on.
Alright, going for birdie once again. Oh, so close. But we'll sell for par, it's not bad. Alright, we're on the half turn. Let's move on to hole 10. Okay. Let's try aiming over here. It was almost the perfect shot right there, but hopefully it will still be good. Well, it's kind of not too bad right there, but it unfortunately couldn't quite get out of the rough. Okay, so I'm gonna try the 8-iron right here. Oh, we're still on the rough. We're just a little bit short of the green. Okay. Let's just hope for a good chip shot right here. It's not that bad. I still have a chance here at a par. And I was a little bit off right there to the left. That was a big bummer. So that's going to be a bogey for this hole. Alright, heading into hole 11. Alright, let's see. I will try a power shot right here. Couldn't quite make it perfect, but it's still good enough. We should still have a decent amount of power shots to play with here for where we're at right now in the game. I do have 4 of them at the moment. Alright, let's go with the pitching wedge here. Alright, that works.
Nice on.
Alright, let's see how we do on this putt for birdie. Oh! I was just a little bit short right there.
Nice par.
But we're still going to get a par right there, so I'll still take it. Alright, let's end the hole 12. Alright, I will use a power shot right here. And we will make that a perfect power shot. So we will keep this one. Okay. Now I'm going to try the 3-iron here on the shot.
Nice shot.
Alright. Very good. And looks like that's going in the rough right there. But we got very close to the green right here after only a couple shots. So it's likely that we can still get a good result right here on this hole.
Nice on.
Alright, so we still have a chance here at a birdie. And we're gonna get it! Nice. So that's gonna put me up to 4. And there's currently a 3-way tie for the lead right here, which is pretty interesting. Alright, now it's on to hole 13, and we're also back in the rain. I really gotta think carefully here on this shot. Alright, I'll try aiming here with the 2-iron. Alright, where is that? And, okay. We are going to barely make it to the green. But let's see, what's going to happen here on this putt for birdie. Wasn't quite enough power there. But it is what it is.
Nice.
But I'll settle for par. I'm up to a tie for second, just 1 stroke off the lead at this moment. Let's head to hole 14 as we now have 5 holes left. Okay, what do I want to do? Probably my safest bet right here off the tee right here on this hole would be the 3-wood, because if I go with the driver, I'm worried that it might fall into the water. So I'm gonna try something like this right here and hope for the best. Oh no! Come on! It still ended up in the water, even if I even if I went 1 club shorter. That is so stupid. So that is gonna put a little dent in my game. Alright. Let's just see what we can do here on this next shot. I'm gonna have to aim really far to the right from where my ball is lying at if I want to try to possibly get it onto the green right here on the shot. Alright, well, it's going in the rough right there, so there's nothing much I could really do about it. So all because of that unfortunate water hazard, we're not going to be able to get a very good result right here on this hole.
Bogey.
And we end up with a bogey. But I'm still somehow in a tie for second right here, so we can't complain too much about that. But anyways, let's head into hole 15.
Nice.
There's a nice shot. Okay. Alright, let's try aiming right here with the 4-iron. Let's actually aim it a little bit more to the left. Lots going in the rough. Alright, switch to the approach shot right here and try to get this onto the green very well from here. Alright, Barry sitting on the green. Alright, let's try to possibly make this putt for a par. Okay, we barely got it in the hole right there. That was very nice. Alright, we're tied for the lead right now with Koopa after that hole. Alright, let's go to hole 16, and we have 3 holes left. We're back in the rain once again right here, so let's try to be careful on this one. Okay, I'm going to try the 6-iron. Oh, it was not that bad. At least we ended up on the fairway. Now let's try to get a good chip shot onto the green. Alright, at least we're pretty close to the hole.
Nice approach.
Alright, we are going to get a par on this one. Alright, still in a tie for the lead right now. Let's go to hole 17. We got 2 holes remaining. It's possible that I could try to get to the green from here at this power shot, but I don't know. It's a little bit risky. I think I would rather play things safe by aiming over here. Alright, we're on the fairway. Now let's see what we can do on this next shot. Okay, that'll put us on the green.
Nice on.
Alright, this is for birdie. Oh! I was literally that close.
Nice par.
Well, we're still gonna get a par though. Alright, looks like we're now in first place, all to ourselves here as we go into the 18th and final hole. I gotta make sure I try not to make any critical mistakes if I want to win this. But anyways, since we are on the last hole, I may as well go ahead and use some power shot right here. We're going to lose it right there, but it doesn't really matter. We still have 3 left with us. fairway. Oh, it's a risk if I use the driver from here, because if I do that, then I have a small red area to deal with. So it's best if I just go with the 3-wood to play things safe, and we may as well go ahead and use another power shot right here as well. Lost another one right there, but like I said, it won't matter since it is the last hole. Oh yeah, we are on the green, so we could possibly get an eagle right here on this last hole to end things off, but can we do it? Let's find out. Yes, we will! We got an eagle on that last hole. That was awesome. So, that's going to make me win the tournament with a score of 3 under par. That's what I call a very nice game. So, we do get a gold trophy right there, which is very fantastic. Alright. So anyways, that is going to do it for Mario Golf for the Nintendo 64 as part of my 27th birthday special. But we still have some more games to play, and I will see you all for the next segment right after this. So stay tuned.